I think we're live. Are we live? Someone in the chat.
You are, so yeah.
Someone in the chat tell me that we're live. I mean, my OBS. I don't have. Yes. I don't have my actual dashboard or anything up tonight, and I'm not seeing anything come up in the chat because OBS had an update. So
you're muted, apparently.
Jack says you're muted on the chat.
No, I'm not. Here. It's coming through.
No, you're not. You're fine.
That's Drax. That's Drax being Drax.
Drax the troll.
I can't see chat though, so I'm not sure if anyone's chatting. If you are, I cannot see you.
Drax saying you're muted. Drax laughing. Grim Drax is a troll. Ha.
So why is my OBS chat not working?
And Magic saying, nah, not saying shit.
Let's pause that and let's keep this chat open so I can see. Because my OBS chat is not working. That is interesting.
I think Drax wants a carrot.
I think the update on OBS has screwed me. Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Because I've changed my
obfuscate magic.
Nice.
Wrong night.
Because I've updated my Twitch account. I didn't update it in bloody thing, so the chat won't be registering properly. I update it. I disconnect and reconnect. So I'm just going to turn it off.
You're reading the wrong chat.
Yeah, it's still seeing it's trying to register the chat from my old account. Or from this account, just so easy enough as I'll have the chat up on yes I changed my stuff as nutty. Yeah. Stop disappearing. So I'm not going to be able to see chat, guys. I'm not going to run chat tonight, so I'll leave that up to mods and such to make sure that people know about inspirations and stuff, and I'll bring chat up a little bit later. I might be able to do it. Oh no, there we're good. We're good. So, as you guys can see, we've got our foundry up. So, this is our loading screen for our Curse of Strahd. This is where we're doing all our recaps and such from this particular screen. We've been doing some playing around with stuff today. Run the players through some bits and pieces, so hopefully it'll go as smoothly as possibly can. I fully expect teething issues and things to go horribly wrong. But as you can see, a little bit of a new overlay. If you look at the bottom right of everyone's screen, you'll see their avatars there as well. Obviously my camera should be the other way, so I should be mirrored. But my autofocus is still on, which is a pain in the butthole. Anywho, so we should get into the recap from last week, since we are running a little late. Last we left off. Here we go. So last we left off, Ismark and the rest of you had continued east around Lake Zarevich. Adok being persistent about moving east all the time consistently. Ismark suggested returning to Vallaki as you really don't want to spend another night stuck out in the forest of Slavich. For an hour or so you travel, you catch sight of another wisp of smoke in the woods to the east. Adok suggesting Investigation is in order, so you move forward. Once trying to be as stealthy as possible. However, Ismark and a couple of others not being as stealthy as they possibly could, you discover a small cottage, makeshift, sound of humming coming from inside and the smell of cooking meat. Fibblestib is pretty certain that it's a hag, and after a minute or two of discussion about killing the woman, she eventually emerges from her home. Seems alright, invites you in for tea. You hesitate and discuss further before deciding what to do. She becomes impatient and eventually tells you to bugger off and leave her alone. Deciding she probably isn't a hag, you eventually carry on along your journey, heading southward now back towards the village of Vallaki and relative safety. You reach the Slavich Road, and indeed, off in the distance you see the walled community of Vallaki. Reaching the east gate, gaining entry, safe for now, back in the village. You decide to split up. Emilia and Ismark head to the church. Karnos and Skathis head towards the Burgermeister, with Fibble and Adok heading back towards the Blue Water Inn. Eventually meeting back at the inn, Adok having asked Erwin for assistance in locating Zadriel, sending ravens to search. Karnos not being able to find any horses, but maybe a business plan or two in the process. And Emilia eventually returning from the church after having a relatively heartfelt discussion with Ismark and Irina. Eventually all meeting back at the inn for some drinks, Emilia arriving lastly, of course. Before that, Skathis, having far too much to drink after Karnos' ramblings, decided to head off to bed. Much later, the rest of you decided that was a good idea and headed off yourselves. However, as Emilia entered her room to go to bed herself, she was met with a rather interesting sight as a drunk and passed out Skathis was laying in her bed. She joined him, and we'll leave it at that. The morning broke nice and early as you all started to rise. This led to a rather awkward situation in Emilia's room, with Skathis waking and realizing where he was and who he was with. He said not a lot, dressed himself and left rather abruptly. Eventually you all came together outside of the inn and got ready to head out again once more to find Zadriel and head to the east. You leave the gates of Vallaki, and as you travel along the road to the east, the day is unusually clear. Still overcast, but not as dark as usual. The lack of wolves howling is a standout moment as well. After an hour or two, paranoia gets the better of Adok and he starts looking around and eventually spies what looks to be a human laying in the road, or laying to the side of the road, wearing seems to be armor. Looks very similar to Zadriel's, quite possibly. Moving forward at pace, the others keeping pace, some lagging slightly behind. You get close enough to see that it is not Zadriel. As you do so, the armor drops to one side and it is a desiccated body. But what stands from crouching is one Strahd von Zaubridge. Turns to you, looks directly at Adok and says, "Told you I would see you soon." Then turns and holds a hand out towards the foggy trees to the south and says, "I have a gift for you. For you all." And as you turn to look in that direction, striding out from the trees is Zadriel, armored walking with purpose, eyes glazed over and intent, flanking her half a dozen ghoulish looking creatures. And that's where we left off last session, and that's where we pick up this evening, as you all are now staring out across this small field, not really a field, a bit of a grassy area leading to the trees. And you now, hopefully this loads in for you guys soon enough, but you have now see
That's awesome.
Zadriel. I'll even move this in a little closer for the viewers here. Bring that up. You guys have control over the map. You can zoom it in and that is as well yourself to give yourself a better view. We will now not do that. Make sure I'm using the right thing. Add you all into a combat tracker here. So if you want to go to the combat tracker and roll your initiative. So we're just waiting on Karnos.
Sorry, getting you. Just had a major meltdown.
That's all right. I'm going to just update some initiatives here. Matrix is on the same initiative as Fibblestib with a 20. And Adok has not cast his little doofer yet, so that's not there. So, with that, we are now entering into initiative. So, Karnos, you are first on the initiative with Fibblestib on board after that. Zadriel and these creatures have just stepped out of the forest. What are you doing?
Okay, just getting a bearing on them. Right, I can see them now. How far is she from me?
He's a fair distance, probably 35, 40, maybe 50 feet from your current position. 60 feet, in fact.
Yes. I'm going to run in front of my party. I'm going to do that now. Look about there I can get.
Roger that. So Karnos surges forward.
And I'm going to say, readying my shield and axe, of course. I'm going to say, Zadriel, how's it going? It's been a little while since we've seen you. Something is chasing you there. And that is it for me.
So that is it for Karnos. Moving forward.
Sorry, DM. I'm just going to hold my attack.
Yep.
For if any of the creatures advance and try to attack, or get past me to attack my party.
Okay, no worries. You hold your action.
Yep.
You don't seem to get any reaction from Zadriel at all. She is blank-faced and intent in her action. So next up is Fibblestib. Fibblestib and Matrix.
Alright, so Matrix I'm just going to have fly up in the air. And
So-
on that one I selected, I shall cast... Oh, this spell? Like so.
So you've targeted a flaming sphere. Awesome. I can actually help you with that. So I will remove that little token for you because we no longer need that. But what I can do is give you control of this particular token. I think I already have... No, I haven't. So, because you're able to move this, yeah?
Ah, there we go. Yeah. On my turn I'm able to move it.
Okay.
That's cool. Just a
So,
few.
yep. So you've cast it on top of that particular creature.
It would actually be just in front of it because it's up to 60 feet away.
Okay, so just in front.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to make the save at this point.
Its turn it would. I think.
It's only 5 foot diameter, so it would have to be in its square.
Yeah,
for it
but
to
it's
make the
also
save.
up to 5 feet around it too. Anything within 5 feet of it has to make a dex save as well.
Ends its turn, so we're on the end of its next turn.
Yeah, on its turn. So
Cool, no problem. Done. Is
That's
that
it.
your turn?
that is all that is going to happen.
I'm going to move this here for you guys to see on the view. Make that a little bit easier for you guys. See what's happening. So the flaming sphere is now there. Next up is Matrix. So he's going to have Matrix flying where he is. You're not going to move him?
I'm going to have him flying like above us to keep a
Yep.
eye
He
out.
is flying, yep.
Yeah.
Next up is Zadriel with Skathis on board. So Zadriel, it is your first turn.
Let's see. Zadriel is going to cast Radiant Soul, so you will see her wings come out, and I am going to use my bonus action to hit my hammer and cast Branding Smite on it, since Radiant Soul is a feat. I'm going to move 10 feet up in the air,
Mhm.
which leaves me 20 feet to move.
Yep.
And I am going to move here.
Move away. So Zadriel is also flying. It is
That
10
is it.
feet in the air at the moment. And that is Zadriel. Skathis, you're up.
Well, that screws my idea of going into attack. But anyway,
So Zadriel is hovering 10 feet in the air and has moved off to your right.
no, I want that one. Then I want that one. There we go.
What is
Moving in.
your movement speed?
45.
What was the distance you just moved?
45.
Here you go. Just making sure.
I measured it. Didn't you see that? Anyway.
Just making sure.
So we're going to do unarmed strike.
Target it first.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Alt click to target the target you're targeting. Make your attack.
That was a miss, I believe.
That is a miss.
Fine.
Actually, no, it's not. It is a hit. The first one does hit.
Okay. What about the second one?
Second one does hit also.
Oh, sweet.
So that damage is applied. So pop, left cross, straight jab.
And that's the end of my turn.
Not going to do anything else. No bonus action.
No.
Nope. So Skathis charges in, strikes out, and smashes into one of these creatures. Doesn't seem phased by your attack. It's taken damage, but it just doesn't seem to care. As you, it is now their turn, or some of theirs. So this guy here is going to move there. That is pretty much his turn. This guy is going to target you, Skathis. And he is going to, what is he going to do? I think he has multi-attack. 2 attacks. He's going to first attack with a 17 to hit, so there'll be 4 points of piercing damage if that hits. So you can mark that on your own sheet, or you can mark it on your Foundry sheet. It's up to you. D&D Beyond would be just as well. He's going to attack you with a claw attack as well, which does 14 hit. You're muted.
How much damage was the first attack?
First attack was 4 points of piercing damage. 14 does not hit, so you're fine on the second attack.
Yeah.
I just need to double check something. On the bite attack, nope, you're good. Good, so that is that creature's turn as it lashes out, bites down on you, misses with its claw, however. Emilia, it is now your turn. You're muted.
I don't know. Yeah. Stuff. Yeah. Sure. Try to figure out how to do stuff with it.
So if you're wanting to target, use hold control. Well, if you want to move, hold control and stretch out from your character, and that'll give you a distance. So we want to move.
Let's see. That's where it is. Yes. I am going to move there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to use mold earth and drop that guy into a 5 foot deep hole.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Do that or not?
I'll do it. So he is now in a 5 foot deep hole as he drops into the hole.
Sweet. And then if I can, I'm just going to yell out, Zadriel, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're safe. And that's where I'm going to my turn.
So I will say, roll a persuasion check for me, just quickly. So if you highlight your character on your UI, go to skills.
What time of day is it?
It is daytime, so you'll be at a -2.
Sweet, 11.
11. Cool. Nothing seems to get through. She doesn't seem to acknowledge you. She is looking directly at you. She seems intent on you, but she is not responding. Next up is another one of these creatures. Oh, didn't mean to do that. He is going to move to there. Next guy.
Question, do I get
No,
attack
he was
roll?
outside of your movement.
Okay.
He would have moved outside of your movement. This guy, however, is going to move there, and he will have to make a save. Dexterity save, I believe, of a 17. So I believe that saves from the flaming sphere. So he will take half damage. Yeah, so I'll get you to just roll 2d6 damage again with fire damage. So he'll take half that, so 5 damage. Cool, so he takes half damage as he runs past the burning sphere. Next up is this guy. And he is going to move 30 feet in that direction as well. Adok.
DM,
Yes.
sorry, DM, the two zombies that are south, they're zombies, right?
They look like zombies, yes.
Like zombies. The two that are south of me, now, I said I was holding my attack or action until
Yes.
they look menacing. Are they looking like they're heading to my group? Are they looking menacing to me?
Oh, they all look menacing. So
Okay,
it's up
so
to you what
I
you do
will-
with that.
Yeah, so I will, and I have no more movement, but I will shield throw at the one closest to me south. This
So,
one.
yep, so target him. Alt click to target him.
Alt click through, and shield throw. Now, I don't think that's in here. I'll have to go to
It's
D&D
in-
Beyond for that.
Yeah, what I will do is I'll add it to your character sheet in there. I'll actually make the attack, but for now do it from D&D Beyond.
Sweet. 19 to hit,
19, that hits.
and oh yeah, I haven't done that, so that's damage. It'll be bludgeoning damage.
Yep. So 6 points of
bludgeoning
bludgeoning
damage.
damage. So it definitely hits him. Your shield is now on the ground next to
Yes.
him, but it definitely hits.
Cool. Now that will do for me. I'll
That-
wait till my turn
yep.
now.
So next up, Adok. It is your turn.
Great. Adok's gonna see Zadriel not responding to anyone, and then he's gonna point two fingers towards her and just whisper Mektuck and cast message. And he's just gonna say to her, Zadriel, are you in there? Please respond. Look, the DM brought us to you. Let us know you're there. There's ghouls behind it.
You only got about 25 words, so bear that in mind.
That's it. Yeah.
So you hear the Zadriel, but you do not respond.
So I get a
You
message
do
from
not
Zadriel.
care. Actually, make a wisdom save for me, Zadriel, just quickly.
And whilst Adok's waiting for a respond, he'd start to prep a paralyzing dart and put it into his blowgun, and then start to
Okay.
back up 30 feet.
So back up your 30 feet.
DM, could you zoom the map out a little bit?
You can zoom your own out, or are they asking to be zoomed out?
Asking to be zoomed out. Are the NPCs not visible?
Here we go, chat.
Got a 17.
17. Cool. So yeah, you hear it. Mention of the word DM sort of triggers you a little bit, but you don't respond. So is that your turn, Adok?
That is it. Yeah, Adok has just prepped his paralyzing dart in his blowgun and backed up.
So Adok, Ismark, seeing what's going on, is looking around confused. Says, well, and moves his full 30 feet, taking a leaf out of Karnos' book straight towards, turning himself towards these creatures. Don't forget you can rotate your characters too, guys, if you need to. He is not going to do anything. He's going to hold his ground, wait for these creatures to do whatever they're going to do. Next up is the last of these creatures, who is going to move straight into you, Karnos. He will need to make a dex save because he moved past that flaming sphere, which he will save. So another 2d6 for your flaming sphere. Pibble, so we can get some damage. 7, so 3 points of damage on this dude. Right, so he's going to attack you, Karnos. And with a bite attack first. 6, that'll miss. Second attack with his claw. That'll also miss. Striking
Okay.
armor.
Yep, I'm going to use a maneuver. I'm going to riposte.
Go for it.
If he misses with a melee attack, I can use my reaction, expend a superiority die. Now, can I do that in Foundry? I cannot.
I'm not 100% sure. Just check it out. I think repost will be under your features. You should have a roll option there, possibly.
Yeah, I'll just check it out. Action signature attack, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. Short master maneuvers, bait and switch, trip attack.
Yeah, repost is there.
There it is.
Should be able to roll from that. If you go open it up and go down, there should be a roll button inside it, maybe. No, it just comes up with the same thing. So
yeah,
just
so
roll
that's right.
roll a superiority die. You can do it from the bottom of the chat. You'll see you've got the dice.
So I'll make
there.
a normal attack and add a superiority die, so that's all right.
Yep.
I'll take the attack. The superiority die adds to the damage.
It's your damage, yeah. So it's roll to hit, as you normally would.
Index.
13, that hits, and your superiority die is damage.
Which is a D8. Oh, it's superiority die, and that adds to the normal damage. So where's my normal damage? Can I roll normal damage off the main screen, or do I have to go on a character sheet?
Oh no, it's added the damage. It's got
it's done
13,
the damage.
13 slashing damage.
Oh, there it is. So that's plus a D8 now.
Yeah, so added the 8 to that.
So
Another
total
7.
of 20.
Yeah, so it's done a fair amount of damage to this creature.
Oops, I clicked
Yeah,
X and
that's
did something else. My bad.
So good. So this creature is looking a little. Looks like it's lost an arm, as you've struck it, as it's run into you, and its arm has dropped onto the ground just in front of you there. But it's still moving. It is creepy as hell. This arm is jittering about, and its hand is crawling around, sort of around your feet. It's pretty goddamn creepy.
Cool. That was my reactions. Yeah, carry on.
That is you. So, as your reaction to that one's attack, that is the last of it. So we're back up the top initiative anyway, so it's back to you, Carlos.
You did, Baz.
There's a natural 1 on the attack anyway. That will definitely miss. You're muted, buddy.
Oh, don't know how that happened. Sudden mute. It's weird.
So your first attack was a natural 1.
Yeah, that's not so good. I will make my second attack.
That definitely hits. And with that strike, as you strike forward into this creature, into his fleshy body, it dies.
That is
And
good.
as you cleft it in twain, a very squishy creature seemed to cut it right down the center.
With my movement, I'm going to move into this creature and pick up my shield.
Be a bonus action to pick up your shield.
That is fine. I'll have to pick it up next round then.
Yep.
Oh no, I can because I haven't
No,
used the
you
bonus
haven't used
action.
your bonus action yet, so it'd be a bonus action to collect your shield, and you still
I'll
got
collect my shield,
that
and
was
I'll
your
call
final
out.
swing.
Correct, and I'll call out. Zadriel, these things are chasing. You could turn around and maybe hit some. That would be lovely.
She does not
And
seem
that's
to
it.
respond.
There's it for me.
Bilstib and Matrix.
All right.
Zadriel, you're on board after this.
First things first. I shall attack that guy using a musket. 18 to hit.
Which one are you attacking? The one up top?
The
there?
one that I've got targeted. I haven't changed my target.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, 18 to hit.
Hitting to hit, that definitely hits.
And because it's not doing damage over there, I'll do it here.
I don't know why that wasn't doing damage here.
14 points of damage.
That definitely does damage.
Piercing.
Yep.
Piercing that is as well. Then I shall grab this sucker.
Shot his arm off, by the way.
Oh, awesome. Oh. Okay. No, I don't want to see what the bloody thing is. Just let me move it. That. It's alt? Is it alt?
Control, and
There we
then
go.
space. So, what's the movement on those? I forget. Like 30 feet? 20 feet.
25 feet, 30 feet.
20
30
feet. You'd only be able to get it to...
Within heating range of it anyway.
Yeah. So we'll just have to move. You'd be able to get it to there, but it'd be enough to get close enough to cause damage on its next turn. It's not right on top.
Right.
Cool.
That. And then also, Z, what are you doing?
Doesn't even look at you. Seems solely focused on Emilia at this point. Is that your turn, Fiddlestip?
This is it.
Matrix is going to do nothing at this point.
No, he's just flying around at the top.
It's just fluttering around there. Zadriel, you are still hovering 10 feet in the air. It's now your turn.
Alright. I will move toward Leah. And I am going to put my Divine Smite onto this roll, hopefully. Oh. Do I have an Inspire?
You still got Branding Smite up as well, so you can't add Divine Smite on top of Branding Smite.
Okay, so do I have to say that I'm going to use an Inspire before I roll?
An inspiration on...
It's a D10 on the...
Yeah, no, yeah, you want to use it, you can use it.
Alright, because I got a 12, so I'll
Yep.
roll a D10. Should be a 9 on top of that.
So it'll be 21, so that'll definitely hit.
Okay. So
you got your Branding Smite and your Radiant Soul.
Okay, so I got a 13 on the hammer.
Yep. So it's 13 bludgeoning damage so far, Emilia.
And for the Radiant Soul on the base, Branding Smite is 14.
That's 14 points of radiant damage, Emilia, which will, for you will be 28, as you are vulnerable to radiant damage.
I have another attack, don't I?
Yes, you got
Was that 13 plus 14? No, 13 plus 28, or just...
13 plus 28, yes.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so 13 bludgeoning and 28 radiant. And Zadriel, you have a second strike.
Second strike. I'm going to use Divine Smite on that one for a dirty 20.
That hits.
And she is undead, yes? So...
Yeah, technically is undead, yes.
Okay. It's going to be 11.
11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, 11 points of radiant plus the bludgeoning is 15.
So are you radiant? So 22 points of radiant and 15 bludgeoning. So that'll be a total of 37 points.
And I will hold my turn.
And it appears that Emilia is unconscious, as these two heavy blows, sparking with radiant energy, course through Emilia's body, and she is instantly brought to unconsciousness.
Oh, if she is unconscious, I will. I only moved what, 25?
Yes.
I'll move 5 feet towards Feeble.
Yep. So move 5 feet in that direction. Choose your arrow keys. It'll move 1 square.
Yeah, just rotate.
Yep. So Zadriel seems now her focus has shifted. Emilia has been brought to unconsciousness. And Bibble, you see Zadriel now turn and look at you, and what you see is Zadriel, but it's not Zadriel. Get my meaning? It's definitely not your friend. It's her. It's her body. It's her. She definitely looking at it, but the eyes are not hers. Skathis, you're up.
That one.
So So you continuing to attack the one in front.
Yep.
So that'll hit. Even with a 9. 5 bludgeoning damage. It's still there, but it's not looking good. 17 hits. Second punch, striking it in the jaw. It's enough to knock it dead.
And with that, yeah, that went.
Slowly turns.
And
You're gonna move into these other creatures.
that's it.
That's it for you. So another creature down. Skatus, that's it. This creature here is now going to make its turn and make a beeline for you. Little step. Emilia, it is your turn, so I need a death save from you. Keep it to yourself. DM it to me in Discord or in Skype, up to you.
How do I do that?
Just roll a d20. If it's under a 10, it's a fail. If it's over a 10, to do it, just oh, actually, you don't have any physical dice, do you?
Use the public roll, private roll thing.
Yeah, so on Foundry, or if you roll from Foundry, just make it a private roll, or make it a DM only roll.
Did you get that one?
I did, thank you. Cool, that works. So that is your turn. The next up is this creature. This one is going to continue its onslaught at you, Karnos, with a bite attack with an 18 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
So 4 points of piercing damage. Then attacks with its claw with a 12 to hit, which I believe misses.
12 misses, yeah.
So it bites out and catches you on the arm, and just as he does that, goes a rake with the claw, and you manage to get your shield up.
I am going to use my reaction on the miss to repost.
Repost away.
So single strike with the battle axe, and then
Maximum damage too, nice.
and I will add my d8 to that. Oh, not 8 bears.
You managed to lop off its other arm in the process. Now it's got 2 arms lying, crawling around on the ground below, on the ground.
An extra 8 slashing damage as I swing around after he misses.
And it manages to sort of maintain, but it's not looking good. But these arms are still crawling around on the ground, but underneath your feet too. It's pretty creepy.
Are they doing any damage, or are they just
they're just sort of twitching and moving and trying to crawl away almost. It's really unnerving. Next up is this one, who is going to move its full 30 feet that way as well, towards Fibble. Your damage, Fibble, please, with the flaming sphere.
Savan.
Savan, he needs to make another dexterity check, which he fails. He'll take full damage. Whoops. Right, come back here. Down to 7. He's not quite there. He's not looking too good. He's smoking, smouldering, and hear the popping and cracking of burning flesh. But he is still there. Skathis, this dude's going to target you and attack you. Bite attack with a 19 to hit, so it'd be 4 points of piercing damage. Claw attack will miss, targeting you both when I shouldn't have been. So that is their turn. Adok, back to you. All the way up the top of the map here. You've seen Zadriel strike down Emilia.
Cool. As soon as that happens, Adok is just going to yell out to Zadriel, and he's just going to say, Zadriel, whatever he's promised, you've got to stop. He's using you. Trust me, I know. Please. Fibble, you're in trouble. She's not herself. And as that's happening, he's going to prep his Eldritch Cannon to be a force cannon.
Are you going to cast it? Or just prep it?
Just like cast it there next to him. And then
you should have control of that.
Yep, and then Adok's gonna walk 15 feet forward, slowly, and he's just gonna keep talking to Zadriel. He's gonna have his cannon, his flute, blowgun, pointed towards her, and he's just gonna say, "Look, I don't want to hurt you, but believe me, I will. Please, we're your friends."
And is that your turn?
That is my turn, yes.
Adok, Ismark's now ready. It is his turn. He moves in to this creature next to you there, Skathis, and makes his attacks. He's going to target this one. He's going to attack with his longsword. 17 to hit. That definitely hits. Oh, wrong person. Takes 7 points of damage. His second attack. 24 to hit with 9 points of slashing damage. Hacks off an arm of this creature as well. And that is Ismark's turn. He's sort of looking around, trying to see if there's maybe any more coming. He heard the howling of wolves and is concerned. Says nothing. Back to the top initiative order. Karnos, is now your turn.
Karnos keeps he's attacking and doing his thing. He's looking back and forth. I assume it's pretty clear he would see that Emilia has hit the deck, right?
Looking around, you definitely see that Zadriel has now stepped past Emilia, and Emilia is lying in the road, not moving.
Karnos is not very bright, but he's like, this ain't good. He sees there's only two little dudes in front of him and goes, Ismark, Skathis, you have this. I have a bad feeling. And he misty steps 30 feet. Now.
So move you 30 feet. Roll your percentage die as well.
Yes.
To see if you fail that percentage.
Percentile die. D100.
D100. If you get a 20 below, you're good. You're good. No adverse effects. But you will get an attack of opportunity.
No, not with Misty Step.
No, you don't either. Damn it.
Yeah.
This creature
I learned that from you.
Yeah, this creature sort of looks as you vanish and reappear miles away.
And then I say, looking at Zadriel, do I see, you were saying if Fibblestim sort of noticed that she's not the same. Do I notice that?
What would we say with Karnos? Yeah, I think you've known her for a month. Give it just over a month. You know her mannerisms, you know what she's generally like, and as you stare at her face to face, she looks the same.
Okay.
But her eyes are just completely glazed over, and she's looking at you, but not at you. It's almost like she's looking through you. She's intent on something else. It's definitely not. She doesn't seem like she's there.
As my free action, I'm going to go, stop this, Zadriel. You are the daughter of a god. Look at these wings. Is she still off the ground or is she on the ground?
She would have been on the ground to attack Emilia. And the wings... Do the wings last for a minute?
Yeah, for a minute.
Yep, so they'll still be up.
I am going to Shield Master shove her onto. Oh, actually, I think I have to hit first to do that.
I think you do, yes.
Just double check. She wants to show take action. Yeah, so I have to take an action first. So I'm going to attack her first, then Shield Master shove her and try and put her prone so we can get some sense out of what's going on here.
No problem.
So, inventory, Victor. Hit her with me battle axe. Good.
16. Does that hit Zadriel?
This is
It's good. I didn't
Strikes her
really want
shield.
to. So I've made an attack, but now I can Shield Master shove her. Believe.
You would have to make a strength save, yeah?
I'm just. Is it in Shield Master shove? There it is. Yes. Yep. So yep, strength save.
So strength save, Zadriel, please.
Bring it out of my. character
23,
sheet.
I believe that'll be a save.
Damn, it is a save. All right, she's not going
So
down.
as you shove forward with your shield, putting your weight behind it, Zadriel holds the ground, holds the shield up, and you clash shields. And she does not budge.
I'm going to use action surge, and I'm just going to have at her this time. She's not
Go for it.
listening. 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
One-handed. I earn 7 damage for that first one.
7 points of piercing damage. Slashing damage, sorry.
Slashing
As
damage,
you
correct?
as you hit it with this attack, however, you swear it should do way more damage than that. It's definitely hurt her, but it's not as much as you would think for an attack.
Cool. Sweet. I'm going to strike one more time. And 15 to hit. I think that's too low.
I think that'll miss, yes.
I have a luck. Can I use a luck?
You can use a luck to re-roll that.
19 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 9 slashing damage.
And again, swear it should do more damage than that. It's just not finding as much purchase as like.
Okay, and that is it for me. I'm just going to call out, guys, something is wrong with Zadriel. Sort out that shit and get over here fast.
Philistip, you're up.
Okay, a few things are gonna happen at once.
Okay. Lay it on us.
The flaming sphere is gonna disappear.
No problem. I can do that.
Matrix is gonna fly up behind Karnos.
Move him to the position.
Yep. I kind of like.
I
Just-
can move him if you want.
Yeah, stupid thing's not wanting to move. Yeah, just move it. Yeah, there you
About
go.
there?
Somewhere like that. Yeah, that's good.
So make sure you untarget him because you were targeting him.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
click. We'll get used to it. We'll get used to it, guys. It's all good.
And then Karnos is going to be. Oh no, shit! It's a blur. Then I'm gonna start blurring. So the actual there cast on myself.
You're gonna start blurring.
Yes, which means anything that attacks me has disadvantage.
No problem. We'll make sure of that. So
Unless they got true sight,
Okay.
illusion, or see-through illusions, or blind sight.
Problem.
And that's that.
That's that for you.
Yep.
That's you and Matrix done. Zadriel, it is now your turn. You have an obstacle in your way. You're a little quiet, Zadriel.
Ah! Better?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try and hit Carnos with my hammer. So first attack is a 23
That'll hit.
for 16.
16 points of bludgeoning damage as Zadriel backhand strikes you in the chest.
And the second attack
Clang against your armor.
would be a 25 to hit
It also hits.
for 11.
Another 11 points of bludgeoning damage. She strikes true, same place. Almost knocks the wind out of you.
No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to do something. I changed my mind.
So
That is fine.
you've used your reaction this turn, I believe. Oh, no, you haven't. Sorry. It was last turn.
No, it's last turn. I haven't used a reaction this turn, but I can't. I have to chest a miss for me to use it, so that's fine. I say, ow. I put my shield up, but it does nothing as she beats down through there.
I have a DM question.
Yes.
Is I have a singular target? Is it? Oh no.
He's in your way, so he would be not so much your sole focus, but definitely you have a purpose, and he is in your way.
Yeah, because I was debating whether to move and take an
It's
attack
up
of
to-
opportunity because I'm
Yeah,
out
well,
of my control, or yeah.
yeah, you would probably do it. You would probably take the attack because you have been given instruction.
Okay, so I will.
You can move through him. It would, as you move past him, it would be the attack of opportunity. So technically, you could go in between them
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna
get
try.
to Fibble. So
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that. So I'm
Yep.
gonna move here. And take
So,
the-
Kanos, you would get an attack of opportunity as Zadriel shoves past you.
Yeah, I will use my reaction to do so.
Single attack, 14 to hit. That'll miss.
Luck. I have a second luck to burn.
Your second love. Skathis, what are you doing?
Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
I use my second luck. 21. to
That'll hit.
For 7 slashing damage.
7 slashing damage. Again, that will be halved, Zadriel. So again, she's just not taking the damage that she should be taking.
I turn around.
So yeah, shift or control mouse wheel to turn around. So Zadriel's just shoved past Karnos and headed directly to you. Next up is Euskathis.
Cool. Where was I? Oh yeah, that.
You've
I want
got
that.
you got a couple of creatures still near you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not moving. Just measuring. Yeah, that'll work. Awesome. Okay. How the hell am I going to do this?
If you're
Anyway.
if you're targeting Zadriel, target her with
Okay,
alt
so-
click. Alt left click to target.
Right. So I don't. How? First of all, unbroken air. How's that work? What's that one? No,
What's the
not that one.
range on it?
30.
30 feet.
I want to use water whip.
Okay. So
It's
so you should be able to cast it.
oh,
Although because you already cast it before, it may not work again.
hang on. Yeah, that one.
So let me see here. Water whip. So you've got water whip. So
Okay.
you spend 2
I
key
just-
points to create a
Yeah.
whip of water that shoves or pulls a creature to unbalance it. A creature that you can see within 30 feet must make a dexterity saving throw. So make a dex save.
So I do the where did I see that? There. That one. No. Wow, this is confusing. I do that.
There you go. So Zadriel, make sure you've highlighted your token, and then in the chat hit the save DC 12. She fails the dexterity save. So
That's 20 points of bludgeoning, plus she moves 25 feet towards me.
okay, so you take 20. Well, half the damage. You'll only be 10 points of bludgeoning, and you'll move 20 feet directly towards Skathis. There will do. Fibble, you will get an attack of opportunity if you wish.
Nope.
Choose not to.
Then we do that.
That was your action. Was that your bonus
What?
action?
No, yeah, I guess. Hang on.
Double check, because I think it might be an action. That,
As an action, yeah, so
yes,
I get
that's
one
your,
more action.
so that's your. You don't get one more action.
Well, one more attack?
No, that is your whole. That's an action. That's your whole
Okay,
action.
Alright then.
So you get a bonus action. So as a bonus action, you can spend another key point to get Flurry of Blow. Actually, no, you can't, because you didn't attack that creature. You can use a bonus action to attack once on those creatures in front of you with an unarmed
I'll do
attack.
Nine.
That will hit.
8 damage.
And that'll put another one down as you smash it in the chest. And drops another to the ground. There's still 3 of these things. You've got
That's the end of
movement
my
if you
turn.
wish.
That's the end of my turn.
In your turn. So next up we have this dude. He's going to move into Fibble. Karnos, I would say you get an attack opportunity. Oh, you wouldn't engage with him.
I've also used my
yeah,
reaction
and you
this
have
round.
too, so yeah. So you wouldn't get an attack of opportunity. So Fibble said, you have there's one of these creatures attacking you. He will miss with that one. Go out with a claw attack and miss with that one. So, and I didn't target you, but he missed nonetheless. That is his turn. Emilia, another death save from you, please. Wow. Okay, cool. Emilia, your eyes flutter open. And you are at 1 hit point. But you are still prone. So I will put you at, we'll still have you as prone. If you want to find that in your conditions and have you lying on the ground still. But you are not feeling good at all. You have several broken bones and probably a little shocked right now. Next up is one of these creatures. He is going to also move into you, Fibble. Light attack. That'll miss. These guys are not very good, but that one will also miss. You're getting pretty lucky there, Fibble. They can't seem to find any kind of purchase on you right now.
Too little.
Maybe. This dude's going to attack you, Skathis. Light attack. With a 15 to hit. Does that hit? Does
Yep.
3 points of piercing damage. And a crit on this one, so 9 points of slashing on the second. With a natural 20. And that is its turn. Adok, you're up. Ismark's on board after that. So Adok, you've probably seen Emilia stir from your position. She sort of moved slightly and groaned and gives you an indication that she may have just regained consciousness. But she's still not looking good. You're muted, Cam. You are muted.
So Adok is going to run and slide and be crouched down next to Emilia. Then he's just going to whisper, oh, don't move. Do not move. And then with that, he's going to reach into his components pouch. He's going to pull out what looks like liquefied dead remains and throw it at the ground near Zadriel and cast Grease.
Cast away.
There we are.
So you will need to make a dexterity saving throw. So again, make sure your character's highlighted and click the save. I think that is a fail. So I think you fall prone.
Just to note, the water whip did make her prone.
You sure?
Oh, yes. Each additional one, and you can either knock it prone or pull it up. Sorry, never mind. Not prone.
No,
just pull
not
it.
prone. That's what I thought. But she's prone now.
Sorry.
And for Alex's bonus action, the cannon behind him is going to turn and target one of the little ghouls surrounding Fibble and fire.
All right. So again, highlight your cannon, target it, and fire.
For a crit.
And looking at that, that'd be enough to knock it completely off its feet and send it flying in several pieces as it disappears in a cloud of goop and bones and blood. And
cool, that's it. That's Adok's turn.
it's Adok's turn. Ismark, it is his turn. He targets this last creature here, long sword attack. Hits it with an 18. There's 6 points of damage. Again, long sword attack. Hits it with a 12. 11 points of damage this time. Reducing that one to death as he hacks it into several pieces. He then turns and sort of says to you, Scathus, "What is going on? I do not understand. Do we attack her or what?" And then he moves here just to put himself in a better position. Back to the top of the initiative order.
Right, Karnos moves.
We have one zombie left on the field, as it seems.
Yeah. I'm going to move into that zombie's rear, flanking.
Gonna move up his bum.
Flanking with Mr. Stub, which I believe would give me
you an advantage.
advantage.
Yes. Will indeed.
Oh yeah. So that will be 27 to hit with 12 slashing damage at the back of him. And I slice right into his spine.
12 slashing damage. And it looks like it does a deep wound, almost severing the spinal cord. Still up.
Still up. I take my second swing. I do a reverse turn across his head. And that will be an advantage as well.
It will indeed.
27 to hit with 10 slashing damage.
Still up.
I'm going to
Barely
use
though.
my bonus action, because I hit, to shield bash it. Shield must have shove, so it must make a strength save, I believe.
Strength save. No problem. Doesn't have a whole lot of strength, so with a 3 it'll fail.
So it is now prone. At this point I will call out, does anyone know what to do about Zadriel? This thing's nearly dead. And that is it for me.
So that is now prone. So melee attacks will have advantage on that creature there, as it is now knocked prone. With that, one thing you... can I get... Who's out there? Fibblesturb, Adok, and Scathus to make a perception check, please. And Karnos.
The natural 20. For 20.
Just need to check something before I do the roll.
Yep, no worries. So, no, not you, Karnos, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry.
You've just been involved. You got your back turned, so you would not see it. Ismark with a 21, Scathus with a 10, Adok and Fibblesturb. Adok with a 14, and Fibble with a 17.
It's
So-
actually an 18.
18, cool.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be +3?
No, because my pet's within 10 feet
Ah,
of me.
cool.
I get a +1.
Get a +1. Cool. No drama. So, with that, everyone except for Skathis notices in the trees over in this general direction. Well, actually, yeah, over in that general direction there, which for those on stream, you'd see the little ping there. There is more things moving, and the sound is starting to grow. It sounds like there's something either big or something of great volume moving towards you. So, yeah. Adok, Fibble, and Karnos, not Karnos, Ismark, you guys hear that and see that from your position. Karnos, you probably would hear it, but I'm not sure what it is at this point. But there's something moving in the forest. Next up, Fibblesib, it's your turn.
Alright. So I'm going to look at this sucker.
Yep.
I'm gonna say, get the hell away from me. And cast that. So
you'd have to cast it at disadvantage because he is prone. And it's a ranged attack, and you're within melee combat.
And I've got Warcaster.
Warcaster doesn't allow you to cast things at melee range, though. I believe.
You have advantage on con saves. You can perform a somatic component without a weapon, with a weapon and shield. Oh, and I can use a spell as a opportunity attack. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll still be at disadvantage.
Do it again then.
Just roll it one more time. It'll still hit.
Yep, and it does more damage. So yeah, okay.
So either way, it would have killed it. Only had like 2 hit points left. So it is bubbling massive goop at your feet as you set it on fire with a firebolt. That is leaving you with no other zombies in view at the moment. But Zadriel is prone in a bubbling massive grease on the ground.
You see, that's it.
That's all you're going to do? You're not going to say anything?
I'm just gonna call up to Zadriel and say, I think it's time for you to snap out of this bullshit. Yeah, you're stronger than that.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
Ooh, okay. On the persuasion ship, I'm going to use my flash of
Genius.
genius. So
You flaccid what?
He's going to use his
flash
flaccid.
of
He's
genius.
going to use his flaccid genius. You're going to need it because 3 is crap.
And I'm going to use advantage.
Okay. Do you get a +5, +3 or +5 for your flash of genius? I think it's a plus.
Oh, I get a +5 on top.
+5, yeah.
Oh no, sorry, a luck. That's what I'm going to burn.
Like, so another +10. So it'd be 8 so far. Add a D10 to that.
Add a D10, roll a D10.
Was it luck or inspiration using?
Luck?
Reroll. D20.
Bloody son of a...
Oh, sorry, so you're at 8.
Wait a minute, we'll go... Reroll?
Reroll, so you need to take your roll, so +5, 23.
So there you go, 23.
Zadriel, this plea from your friend reaches you. You hear it. I need you to make a wisdom save for me. We'll be at disadvantage, however. So that is a 7. You, as much as you want to respond and want to stop what you're doing, you just can't. You want to say something. You try and will yourself to speak, but you just can't. It is you're focused. You're looking at you're from even your prone position. You're looking at this little gnome, and all you want to do is smash his face in. You just can't help it. As much as you don't want to, you want to at the same time. It just the compulsion to kill him is just overwhelming at this point. I also need Zadriel, quick perception roll as well, please. Maybe close call. Let me just roll here. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Emilia's leg move. Your focus instantly shifts from Fibble back to Emilia. It is now your turn. You are prone, so you'll need to use half your movement to get back up.
Alright, it's half my movement to get up.
So you have 15 feet of movement left, but your focus is now shifted.
I am in Greece. Let's see.
So you'll only get 10, we'll have reduced that by another 10, down to 10 feet, because it'll reduce your movement by half normally, and you are sort of on the edge of it, so you'll only get 10 feet of movement.
Can I use my bonus action to Misty Step out of...
Oh yeah, 100%.
That would be the full 30
That'd
if
be
I
the
did
full,
that, yeah?
Yeah, full 30.
Alright, I'm going to use my bonus action to Misty Step to her. Whoops.
So she is prone, so your attacks, if they are melee, will be at advantage.
Alright, I am going to use my hammer. And what is it, 26 to hit?
That will hit. She is only at 1 hit point, so you probably don't even need to roll the damage on that. Emilia, you are unconscious once again as this hammer strikes down on your on the side of your head, instantly blacking out. Zadriel, she is now unconscious again, but a compulsive thought comes to your mind. She's not allowed to get back up again. Your second attack will be at Emilia. Roll your second attack.
I'm trying to find it. It's still at advantage.
Still at advantage, yes.
25.
That will definitely hit. Emilia, you will lose 1 death save with that.
Yeah.
You don't need to roll. You don't need to roll this. You've just lost one. So, Zadriel, what bonus actions do you have?
Well, I used my bonus action to Misty Step. So,
okay, so cool.
yeah.
So that would be your turn. It is about this moment as you strike down the second time into Emilia, again into the side of her head, splitting open her skull, a large wound, spilling her blood out onto the road, knowing that you could easily end her life. As you lift the hammer back up, you look at Emilia, you turn your focus back to Fibblestep. But all of a sudden, your mind, the cloud and mist that's in your mind, that this pressure that's on your brain slowly dissipates and lifts. You know, now standing over a friend and an ally, blood dripping from your warhammer. Emilia lying motionless in front of you. Skaithis looking at you, horrified at what you've just done. The rest of the crew sort of standing, looking from their various positions, looking on as they've seen you attack with this kind of vigor before, but never directed at each other. But you have now got full control of yourself. That fog is lifted, and we are out of initiative too, guys. So we are now into roleplay.
Emily, Zadriel screams very loudly and it's like, Emilia, no. And I kneel down to her and look for my a health potion to prop her up and
we don't know what's going on. She's just hit her in the head like twice.
She's just smashed her heart out, and
I'm
you've heard
running
her.
headlong over there, and I'm going to shoulder charge her.
Yeah,
as
you've
hard as I
definitely
can.
heard her say something. From your position, Scathis, you're probably not sure what she said. Karnos, you definitely heard what she just said, and she's knelt down next to Emilia. So I will go round first. So Karnos, you will have a reaction to this as well.
Yep. If I've heard what she said, I'm running headlong at her still.
Yep.
And I'm going to put my boot into her shoulder and just push her off and say, "Get off her, you bitch." And then I'm going to grab I've got one of those med kit things that I can stabilize someone with if I roll a medicine check.
Okay, so you've charged into Zadriel. We're going to stay on this scene for a minute, so you can move your token into if you wish.
Sweet.
So you've charged into Zadriel. You've slammed your boot into her. I'll get you to make a strength check, just firstly, before you do anything else.
Yep.
Because, I mean, although I would say make it an advantage, because I would say that Zadriel would be slightly distracted at what she's currently doing.
Cool. 25.
So you definitely knock her over. So Zadriel, you're shoved to one side all of a sudden. Warhammer drops to the ground. I'm assuming you probably dropped that already, maybe? Shield probably as well?
Yeah.
As you do this, Karnos, you sort of look at her face as she sort of looks up, sort of seeing what's happened, and the look of absolute desperation and the tears in her face. It's evident that something's going on right now.
Sweet.
But you've shoved her over. You're going to make a medicine check to try and stabilize.
Yep.
Okay, so make a medicine roll.
Medicine.
Try and stabilize Emilia.
12.
Are you proficient with medicine?
That's a good question.
So if you are, you'd add your proficiency to that. So you're not.
I'm not.
So actually probably would do it automatically if you were proficient anyway. So I would say with a 12, she's stable. So no more death saves, Drax. You are stable. You're not at 1 hit point, but you are stable for the time being. She's
That's
still,
all I was hoping for.
she's still. Her breath is laboured. She's definitely bleeding heavily. She doesn't have long for this world, essentially. But you have stabilized her to the point where she's not going to die outright. So you think. I mean, as much as you're aware, you've sort of patched the wound to stop any heavy bleeding, but there's a lot of blood.
Yeah, I'm just sort of holding tight against the bleeding.
She is not looking healthy at all. Fibblestib, a reaction from you.
You would see Matrix fly over and land on Emilia, and then I would say a couple of words, and she would get 6 points of healing damage.
6 points of healing damage. So
from Healing Word.
Healing Word. It's not coming from a divine source, so it would work. However, Emily, you'd only get half of that, not the full 6, because of your current state. Your eyes flutter open, Emilia. Your mouth is dry. You're struggling for breath. You feel immense pain on the left-hand side of your head as you sort of slowly move and hold your hand up, and sort of you feel Karnos or someone's hand. Your vision's blurry, not sort of sure what's happening, but you feel and smell your own blood. It's soaking through this rag or cloth or whatever Karnos is using to try and keep the wound closed. It doesn't smell like you're like you want to drink it or anything like that. You can tell it's your own blood, and you do not feel good. You are still slipping in and out of consciousness. Your vision is blurry. You can speak, but it's belabored as you're struggling to breathe on your own as well. It's a weird feeling. It's something you've never felt before.
And then I would walk over and give her a little vial, which would be reddish in color. If she drinks it, I'll tell her what happens.
We'd probably have to aid her for drinks. She's probably not going to be able to do it on her own at this point. But do you resist, Emilia?
No, I won't resist.
Okay. What do you feed her?
It's actually a healing pot that I made.
Yep.
It's an elixir of healing, which gives her a further 4, 5, 6, 8. So it'll be 4 points.
So 4
if
points.
It's halved.
Yeah. She struggles to get it down. Emily, you're almost to the point of vomiting as this liquid runs down your throat and into your stomach. It's foreign. You get the 4 points, but she does start to cough and splutter a little bit at this liquid that is being pulled down her throat.
And I just go,
Just imagine it's Carnos's blood. Shut up and drink it. Shut up and drink it. Shut up and drink it.
She retches a little bit, but she manages to keep it down. And you do get you get 4 points of healing. Adok, a reaction from you.
I was gonna say my cannon was gonna fire at Zadriel, but I feel like that moment's gone.
And if you think that's what Adok would do.
Oh no, because it was because Carnos has ran over. It would have been before then, but that's alright. Yeah, Adok would just walk over to Zadriel, and you notice that his blowgun flute is just starting to glow bright red, and it's going to be pointed directly at Zadriel.
Okay, so you're holding a firebolt?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's just going to say to Zadriel, he's going to say, "Tell us something that we know it's you, or I swear to God, I will roast you right now."
As you're looking at Zadriel, she's sitting there dumbstruck, but in tears. The tears are streaming down her face. Like you can see, she's heavily sobbing. She's sort of looking at her hands, the blood on her hands, looking down at her hammer, blood on her hammer, looking up at you guys, sort of looking around all of you, sort of backwards and forwards, and almost in absolute shock. She's speechless at this point. Skathis, a reaction from you.
Okay, so yeah, this is going to be harsh, but anyway, because I don't even know exactly what's going on up there.
If you do what you think Skathis would do.
Moving there, using Water Whip again.
How many? 2 key points. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
So you need to make another dex save, Zadriel.
And that'd be a disadvantage because she's prone, I believe.
She's not prone. She's sitting.
Sitting, prone.
Not at disadvantage, but she fails anyway.
And she moves 25 feet towards me.
So all of a sudden, Zadriel, you are, and you'll take some 23 points of bludgeoning damage, which you'll now take the entirety of. And you are whipped backwards. Just almost whiplash, just pulls you directly backwards towards Skathis. As this large water spout type whip wraps its sound around you and just yanks you backwards. And you guys would all see this too. Ismark is sort of just looking speechless around, sort of wondering what the hell's just happened. And he's not going to say anything. Do you say anything, Skathis?
Why?
Now we'll go into full RP. So Zadriel, you have a chance to respond.
I left the western gate. I went south to Vistani camp, where there was a Madam Eva there, but it was too much, so I left and went towards the east. I was attacked by wolves. I managed to take down about half a dozen when Strahd came, and he stopped the attack. He offered healing, sanctuary, whatever, but I spit on the ground and refused him, and I got up for my last stand, and then I blacked out when I came to. I was in that castle we went to, and he had spent several times trying to get me to join him, but I kept refusing, and when he grew angry is when I lost control of myself. I know what I'm doing, but I can't control my body. I have to just move, or I did. I was there when I saw the wolves attack all of you. I was standing by him and his zombies. And then the DM, it felt like a light in the darkness of my mind. And a warm breeze blew, almost like rewarding me for being strong. And then later I heard Adok's voice say, Zadriel, if you're alive, send us a sign, because we almost died looking for you. And I couldn't answer. Only Strahd could answer me. And I knew I would find you again. And Adok, I gave you a bear to keep you safe. His name was Styx. And I start to cry.
And with that, I put out my arm to offer a helping hand up.
I had moved halfway between Zadriel and Emilia with my shield up and my axe up, just making sure there's going to be no more attacking.
As soon as Skathis goes to offer his hand out, Adolf's going to yell at you like, "Don't! This could be a trap. Someone restrain her right now. We've got to get out of here. Carlos, you need to pick up Emilia. We need to get back out of this forest."
Alright, I still think Zadriel looks like she's coming round, but I'll come and get Emilia.
There are healing potions in my pack. Take them.
So do you take the healing potions from Zadriel, Skathis?
Yeah.
She rummages through her pack, hands over 2 regular healing potions, hands them to you. So who is going to attempt to restrain Zadriel?
I'll hand the potions to Adok, and I'll stay with Zadriel.
You going to restrain her?
No.
I offer my hands out anyway.
All right. In that case, I'll take the rope out of my pack and restrain her.
So she offers no resistance. You take the time to bind her wrists in front of her, leaving enough to a rope to maybe lead her, or up to you how you do it, whether you want to cut it off and allow her to walk by herself. Up to you guys to decide that. Emilia is still not well. She's drifting in and out of sort of delirium.
How far are we from town?
You guys are about an hour from Vallaki.
Okay.
So, and with carrying someone, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Yep.
But
so I
you're
pick
not
her
that
up
far
carefully.
away.
I pick her up carefully and I say
Okay.
to Ismark, Ismark, lead us back to Vallaki. I don't want to. We can't be out here any longer.
Okay,
There's
so I'll
no
get
place
everyone except for Zadriel and Emilia to make a perception roll for me just quickly. As you did hear and see creatures in the forest prior to this, Ismark failed with a natural 1. He's sort of looking around at you guys, sort of sees you kind of says, "Right, okay, yeah," and sort of turns and you can see he's a little bit dumbfounded by the whole situation and really concerned. Like, it's not so much that he's confused by it, he's almost like he's seen something like this before. He's mildly disturbed by the whole situation.
Adok's going to turn to Ismark, and then he's going to say, "I need you to grab Zadriel's hammer and a shield, just in case. Zadriel, I'm sorry, but we can't risk it."
And Ismark picks them up and puts the shield straps the shield to the back of his pack and just carries her warhammer. Easy enough done. He's got a pretty high strength as well. Karnos, you pick up Emilia as carefully as you can. No need for a strength check. and you prepare to head back towards Vallaki. Adok, you've got your cannon. Do you dismiss your cannon, or do you just get it to walk with you, or do you pick it up because it does work? It does move slower than the rest of you.
I'd reduce its size and pick it up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you do that. So I will just remove that. The rest of you get back onto the road. We'll go back over to our travel map here. So from where you guys were on the travel map, I'll just move this up here, chat, so you guys can see it. Zoom in. So you're about an hour or so away from Vallaki. It's going to take a little bit longer time to get there because of your current situation. The perception check seems to reveal nothing. You don't really see or hear anything in the forest anymore. At one point, Skathis, who was the highest? Yeah, Skathis, and Fibblestib. You think you hear laughter just ever so slightly on the back end of the crows that you can hear, and the occasional wolf howl, and that slight rolling of thunder that you can hear every now and again. Almost a chuckle sort of comes through over top of that as well. You don't really pat. It's just like it's there but not there. As you move further back towards Vallaki, over the course of the next 45 minutes to an hour, the baying of wolves is present once again, almost like it was never not there. The rolling thunder in the distance can be heard. Again, no rain. It's the day is still relatively clear, but the thunder is coming. Sounds like it's coming far off into the east, maybe towards Castle Ravenloft. Who knows? But you eventually make your way back to Vallaki proper, to the eastern gate. And as you reach the eastern gate, Ismark bangs on the gate to gain entry, and the usual process. You do manage to gain entry back into Vallaki proper and head, I'm assuming, back towards the Blue Water Inn to try and figure out what's going on. Will you tell me what you're doing? You're at the eastern gate. Zadriel is bound, has not tried to escape. She is still
Ismark,
tears running down her face.
Ismark, where is the church the best place to take Emilia to get healed?
Yes, of course. And I do not know that in her condition that even Father Lucian will be able to heal her. She will probably need to take time to recover. But
yes,
please take her to church. Irina will look after her.
Okay. And I start carrying it there. I'm not worried about who else is following me. I'm just going that way.
Yeah, Ismark is definitely with you. He's got Zadriel's hammer and that, and he turns around to you, Skathis, and says, here, take this, and hands them to you, as he doesn't want to take them to the church. And does anyone else go with Skarnos and Ismark to the church? What are the rest of you doing?
I'm staying close to Zadriel.
Adok would walk up to Zadriel and cast Detect Magic.
Since she doesn't have her hammer and her shield, nothing on her glows as magical.
Zadriel is going to yell towards Kanos and them that divine healing might hurt her. She probably needs blood or something else. That's what I yell.
I stop in my tracks. I'm like, oh, shit, that's a good point.
Karnos, roll a perception check as Zadriel blurts this out inside of the walled township of Vallaki. Only 10 feet, but loud enough that potential ears may be listening.
I am very exhausted. I'm tired.
Just a 12.
Just a 12? You look around. Where is my dice? I did not expect that to happen, so I need to make a bit of a dice roll here.
Then I yell at,
She did lose a lot of blood, so that kind of makes sense. That blood's probably a good idea. Yeah.
Yes, a transfusion, possibly.
I will make a roll here. You glance around, nervous at what Zadriel's just said, and Fibble sort of back trying to sort of cover up what was just said, and a couple of strange look, but nothing overly concerning. You think you might have gotten away with that one.
With that, Carlos sort of nods knowingly and says to Ismark, she could be right. I'm heading to Emilia's room. I will give her what she needs there.
You're gonna take her there?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yep.
So Ismark will go with you anyway. He said he's going to help you. He said, "Let me help," and you sort of release her down, and you take an arm each, sort of pick her up in almost like a assisted fireman's carry, like in a seated position. Her head slumped forward. She's drifting in and out of consciousness. Emilia, I need you to make a wisdom save for me, please. I mean, you are seriously hurt. This is the first time you've ever felt this bad in a while. As you are being carried by these two humans, the need for blood is stronger than ever. You are hurt. You know that regular healing is just not going to cut it. It's going to take some time for you to recover, but you desperately need blood. At this point, you can hear both of their heartbeats loudly in your ears. It's almost intoxicating. Fortunately for Karnos and Ismark, currently you are not strong enough to exact any kind of attack. You did fail your wisdom save. If you were stronger, the outcome would be different. You try, but your strength's just not there. Ismark and Karnos, you do feel Emily sort of shift and move under your assistance. Whether you interpret that as an aggressive thing or not, it's up to you, but she definitely seems to be restless at the very least. But you move towards the Blue Water Inn, eventually making it there and making it to her room. What do you do once there?
Karnos he's just going to try and extract, so he's already bleeding a little, nothing major. He's just going to extract.
You do
some
know
of
that
his
she
blood.
does carry blood with her. You did give her some that morning as well.
That is true, I did. I will look around the room for that and give her that first, but I will also extract some more into another pack.
She had maybe half of a water skin full, or probably not even that, probably a third of a water skin, because a water skin holds about 4 pints, I believe it is, looking at the thing we checked yesterday. So yeah, there'd only be about maybe a pint, if that, in this water skin. Do you feed her that first?
Yeah, I'll feed her that first, and then I just do what I did the previous night and open myself up with a dagger and let that dribble into the water skin while I'm waiting for her to rest on the
Ismark
bed.
does the same. When you're completed with yours, he takes his short sword and
don't
opens
use
up
the
a
same
wound.
knife, man. That's
He
dangerous.
uses his own and opens up a small wound and bleeds into the water skin also. Emilia, as they give you the first lot of blood, which is cold, it's not great, but it helps. You gain 12 points of healing from it as it trickles. Well, not really trickles, it's kind of stodgy, but it does make its way into your stomach and it does help sustain you a little bit. The fresh blood, however, you do gain a little bit of strength, but the smell of that fresh blood is driving you insane. I need you to make another wisdom save, please. Better.
17.
Still not quite enough.
I've got thingies, wherever the heck they are.
Yeah. No, you're good. Do you want to use one? It's up to you. If you've got a luck, you can add a D10, but if you've got a luck, sorry, you've got a reroll. If you've got an inspiration, you can add a D10.
I'll go Inspire.
Okay, so
I've got both. So
okay, so if you want to add a D10 to that, roll the inspiration. That'll be your best bet at this point to pass this check. Unfortunately, even with a 4, you just missed it. So, Karnos, what you see happen as you've given her this first lot of blood, and you both have bled into this water skin, and you're walking towards her to help to aid her in drinking it. Her eyes, as she looks up at you, have changed colour. They're no longer the brilliant green eyes that she's had when you first met her, and through the course of this month here in Barovia. But they're now a very, very pale green, almost translucent, but very wild looking. As she sort of adjusts herself in the bed, still not very strong, she grimaces with pain, and you see the teeth for the first time, the elongated canines, razor sharp. You can see that she's struggling, and as you get closer, she focuses on you, and the intent comes across her face. You know exactly what she's going to try and do.
Seeing that, I'd take the bag we've just been using. I'd say to Ismark, let's just do this now, because she looks like she's getting angry, and I don't think we'd like her when she's angry. And I just start dribbling that new blood to her. Yeah, I basically just give it to her, like pour it down her throat. So
you just start pouring it. It's going to be a little messy. She's but what you do get, let's see what happens here. What you do manage to get in her mouth, you're a little nervous. You see something's not quite right there. Emilia, you lose your focus with Karnos as he starts pouring the fresh blood, and you just start greedily lapping it up. It's splashing down your chin, across your clothing, but what you do manage to get into her mouth, and she does swallow, Emily, you gain another 20 points of healing from it, and you are feeling a lot better. You now have a little more control. You look at Karnos and Ismark. The look on Karnos's face and Ismark's face kind of tells you everything that you need to know. Ismark especially, he's wide-eyed and he is scared. You can see that he is afraid of you. Karnos probably not as much. In fact, roll a wisdom save for me, Karnos.
No problemo.
But Ismark is visibly afraid and is even backing away from you at this point, backing towards the door. Karnos has a visible fear across his face too. He's maintaining his aid of you. I'm
feeding this beast.
Definitely. You're definitely maintaining, but you're shaking. You're physically shaking while feeding her the remainder of this blood. Once the skin is empty, you drop it on the bed, and you two would probably back away maybe 5 or 10 feet, and you would visibly have that look of worry across your face.
I draw my weapons too, drop the bag, and I pull the shield and axe up and just stand by the door.
Yeah. So, Emilia, as you start to regain some control, you now notice that two people that you would definitely consider allies, one you would definitely consider a reasonably close friend, the other up to you, are standing here visibly afraid of you right now. And I also believe that your belief system has been shaken somewhat with the events of today.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that Emily would be in a state of shock to the point that she would not be saying anything.
Okay, just one thing I do have to do just quickly. So, unfortunately for you, Emilia, I'm going to DM you something a little later. which will be for future reference as you have been rendered unconscious in the land of Barovia. So you will receive a dark gift, but I'm going to give it to you privately, so that you'll be aware of what is happening. How you play that is up to you. Well, it's actually probably not how you play it. It's just going to be an effect. And I'll add it to your character sheet as well. Right, so I've DM'd you in the foundry there, Mr. Drax. So I will add that to your sheet before next game. So we will switch over to the rest of you at this point, as we'll leave that there for a moment. So Fibblestib, Adok, Skathis, and Zadriel, where were you guys headed? Were you heading towards the inn? What is your plan?
Back to the room. Why are we?
So Zadriel bound. You are getting a few looks from individuals as you move towards and through the town square, as you have a bound individual walking with you. No one really says anything at this point. You're just getting the occasional look. The town guard take notice, seem a little interested, but don't approach. You eventually make it to the inn. You're going to your guy's room. So you make it up the stairs. As you get to the top of the stairs, by that stage, I would say that Karnos, Ismark's probably backed out of the room by this point, and just looks at you, Karnos. You can see the fear in his face, the worry, but he sort of just gives you a nod and as if to say, I need some time, and exits the room.
Okay, I give him a nod and just stay there. I don't want anyone to interrupt her or her to interrupt anyone.
Okay. With that, you guys, as you guys get to the Blue Water Inn, Ismark is probably halfway down the stairs heading out, and you can see on his face that he's worried. He has a look of worry and a little bit of fear still remaining, and he just says, Emilia is resting. I'm going to check on Odina. I will see you tomorrow, possibly. And he sort of turns and just carries on walking.
As he goes to turn off, Adok's gonna reach out and grab him by the wrist, and then he's just gonna put 2 gold in his hand. And he
holds his hand out and sort of looks at you, almost cracks a little bit of a smile, like a little smirk, nothing, just almost in recognition of what he's heard with you guys before, and gives you a nod and closes his hand and takes it.
Yeah, Adok doesn't say anything, just matches his gaze and just nods and lets him go. And he, like, very slowly and sort of methodically walks away. I mean, you can tell even just by the way he walks in his gait that he's visibly shaken. The rest of you then ascend the stairway down the landing into your room. The door to Emilia's room is closed. As you get into your room, Karnos is not there, so you can only assume he is in with Emilia, helping her. What are you doing?
Once we get in the room, I go to Adok. So, did you steal that gold from him earlier and you were just giving it back, or?
I don't know, I just thought it might make him feel better.
Wow. Yeah, I could only imagine what he just saw in Emilia's room after what we saw this morning in Emilia's room. So,
how does Skathis react to that remark?
He's just taking it in his stride.
Doesn't say anything?
No.
Doesn't react? Okay.
No. More concentrating on Zadriel and what the hell to do.
Okay, so Zadriel, all you guys are in the room. What do you do, Zadriel? You're bound at the wrist. You're just standing there. Are you going to sit? What are you going to do?
I will just stand there until they tell me what to do because I am. Zadriel probably doesn't trust herself either, so she's just sitting there with her head down, not looking at anyone.
Is there any way to take Zadriel's armor off without untying her?
Hold up now.
You probably could, but it would take her agreeance for you to do it.
Like not to leave her naked, but just to take the armor off, because
she wouldn't be naked.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't wear armor over a naked body because that would do some serious chafing.
Zadriel,
Scared us.
would we be able to take your armor off, please?
You could untie me and let me take my armor off. There's 3 of you.
I trust her. It seems to be Z now. She's not that blank-faced person that wants to. That hammer worked really well on us.
It was very good.
I was waiting for that.
Alright, I proceed to untie her bindings.
So you trust her to untie her? Okay.
Yeah.
You unbind Zadriel's hands. She rubs her wrists from the... It would have been a little bit of rope burn there, because it would have been relatively tight to begin with, I would imagine. But you are now freed.
Is it still daytime? Or
It is daytime. It is... by this stage, it's probably early afternoon, because I set out fairly early in the morning, so it would probably not be much past lunchtime.
Sketas, why do you want me to strip down? It's only midday.
And you'd sort of glance over at your shield and see that anyway. The sun on your shield is probably sitting quite high on the shield.
I probably need to wash off this blood though.
I think he wants you to derobe your armor because then he feels safer that you're not gonna do anything. Why did you leave?
Because he was going to kill Falcon.
Falcon's a grown man. He's not. I've seen Falcon.
Falcon's probably dead. You told me.
Ah, don't fucking word, stupid idiot. Here, see? I got a book here that says he's a lying prick. I think. The book could be lying to me. Maybe.
I missed you too, Fibble.
Don't go. We go together as a group to kill Strahd. Eventually. Get there one day. I don't know. Make the world better.
Fibble,
What?
who's going to go with me to wash, or you're going to trust that I can wash myself?
Wanna wash?
I'm covered in blood.
Right. Yeah. Scathus, you're big and strong. Actually, no, I'm stronger than you. I'll be back. Look after her. And I'll go up to Adok and give him 2 gold.
So you're going with me? Yeah.
So Adok, you're going to... Adok and Scathus, do you object of Zadriel's leaving the room with Fibbulsib to go wash?
Adok just takes the gold from Fibble and then walks out the room.
Where's
Where are you headed to, Adok?
Gotta head towards Emily's room where Carnos is.
Okay. Scathus.
Where's the washroom or whatever it is, the bathtub?
Well, there is a basin, like there's a wash basin in the room, but it's just a basin that you would have to go fill with water. You'd have a jug to fill with water and you'd wash there, but she's got a lot of blood on her and on her weapons. You would have to probably go to the well and grab a bucket full of water and probably tip it on her to clean off most of this. She's pretty messy. I mean, even you've taken a little bit of damage, so you've probably got a little bit of blood on you. I mean, you'd have to go back, probably out to the well at the very least, to get a decent amount of water.
Fibble, take her out to the stable. I'll bring buckets around.
Righto. Come on, Z, let's go. Look what I made.
So you take. Do you give her weapons to take with her, weapon
hell
and
no.
shield, or do you take it for her?
No.
They can be watched later.
Yeah.
Yes, you leave them behind. Okay, yeah, cool.
Armor off. Because we can clean the armor in the room with the shield and the thing.
Okay, so you-
just taking her in her casual clothing
Okay.
down to clean up.
So it's going to take, if Zadriel complies, it's going to take about 10 minutes to doff the armor before you can go clean up. So do you comply with their requests?
Yep.
So it takes a little while, but you do manage to take your armor off and you lay it down with your shield and your hammer. And Fiddlestib escorts you down to the well. Down to the stable, sorry, at the back of the inn. And Skathis, you go to the well and draw some water, and you meet Fibble and Zadriel there, where Zadriel proceeds to wash herself.
And I turn my back, so I'm not watching.
I mean, she's not naked, dude. I mean...
Wet clothing. What do you think, huh?
Well, it depends on how she washes herself. Anywho, we're going to switch back over to Karnos and Emilia. So Karnos, as you've backed away towards the door, as Mark has departed, Emilia is definitely a lot healthier looking. She seems a little bit more in control now, though, too. Like, her eyes have not fully returned to what they were before, but more so what you're used to. She doesn't seem to have that very feral sort of look to her now. At this point, Adok, do you knock on the door? Or do you just walk in?
No, yeah, I just hear a tiny little knock.
And Carlos, you being right by the door, you would definitely hear it.
Hello, who is it?
Doc.
Oh, good. Adok, come in. I creak open the door. Just don't make any sudden moves.
All right.
So Adok, you look over at Emilia, and she's definitely looking better. The wound on her head, Carlos, you'd definitely notice this too, has started to close over. It's not looking as gruesome as it was earlier. It's definitely still pretty nasty wound, but it has started to knit and heal at a pretty quick rate. I mean, something you definitely see from magical healing, not from just drinking bodily fluids. It's definitely healing of more of a magical nature. You've seen magical healing knit wounds, but not as quick as this or as clean as this.
What's up there, Doc?
You know, just checking that, you know, you're okay and she's all right.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a little angry, but I'm okay.
Yeah. Are you hurt at all? You hungry? You?
Kind of sort of goes himself to one side because he didn't seem to worry too much about himself mid-battle. No, I've got a couple of grazes, but I'm doing all right.
Alex just reaches out a hand and just casts Cure Wounds at a 2nd level.
No
you know, that
problem.
hammer really fucking hurts when you're on the receiving end of that. You know that?
450 healing. Holy shit.
Very nice, thank you.
Nicely done.
Yeah. You know, there's a reason why I kind of stay away from things that are bigger than me most of the time, or look like it could kill you, which is, you know, you, Zadriel, and pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I don't love to kill. Oh, that's a lie. I like to kill things that deserve to be killed, but this is different. I don't want to hurt Zadriel.
I know. I don't think she wanted to hurt us either. But look, it is what it is. I've been saying this from the start. first of all, no one goes out alone. We have to keep in mind that how Emilia is and what happened to Zadriel, it's just a part of what Strahd wanted.
Yeah, he's a tricky bastard, you're right. And you have been saying it all along. You've also been saying you're scared all along. But you're showing some pretty good bravery out there at the moment.
Well, you know, you can only piss your pants so many times until you run out of liquid, so...
Oh yeah, the old empty bladder. Yeah, I'll get that quite a bit. I mean, you know, not piss my pants, but... never mind. You know, you've been praying to that god, right?
Yeah.
How's that working out for you?
I mean, we found her. I don't know.
I don't know if we found her.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Look, you're pretty good with words, right? I mean...
Well, yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah. I feel like once, you know, Emily is healed, whatever she's doing, Zadriel's going to need a bit of cheering up.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to her at least. You know, one thing I would like to do is learn a bit about her god. Something, I don't know, maybe I could learn something there. I wonder why her god didn't save her from the Strahd.
It's because Karnos, he controls everything here. Everything. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out without his permission.
You could be right.
Been trying to tell this since the start. This is what I'm shit scared, right? And you
know
should
what?
be too.
You just made a point, and you've just made me open my eyes, Adok. You know why is everyone shit scared of Strahd? Tell me, why are you shit scared of Strahd?
Because he controls everything. He's...
Right. He controls everything. But you're shit scared of him because he controls everything? Because you've seen this, or because that's what everyone says?
Well, I mean, I've partly seen it. Didn't you see today? That wasn't Zadriel, that was him. It was his doing.
But he doesn't control everything, because, yeah, we had trouble, but who came out on top? Us. He didn't control us, right?
Do you really think we came out on top? Have a look at Emilia. Just look over at her.
We're alive, right?
Yeah,
mean, I understand what you're saying, but you got to bright side it. Everyone thinks Strahd is this evil guy that can do everything. Because they think that, then it is so. You suddenly started believing in this DM character, and because you thought it was right, you were able to find Zadriel or signs or what have you. Maybe the truth is in how much you actually believe. Maybe we should all get together and start talking to this DM. Maybe the more of us that can communicate with it, the more aid we can receive. I don't know, one of those two.
Yeah, you might be right. But I mean, first things first. We need Emilia patched up. We need Zadriel back to full control. And then, yeah, maybe we can think about believing in something other than our own demise.
That's good fighting words. I like it. You're on the right path again.
So, Emilia, you are obviously feeling a lot better. You're less concerned with the whole blood thing now that you've had a pretty good fill. You're feeling a lot better. You still got a powering headache. It was a couple of really nasty shots to the head. You're still feeling a bit hazy and a bit woozy, but you were able to hear the bulk of this conversation. And you sort of half sit up in the bed, look over at Karnos and Adok, and you see your friends. You don't see Karnos as a meal so much anymore. Do you have anything to say in this instance?
Emily is going to blurt out, "Fuck gods."
Well, I see she's feeling better. That's a good sign.
Yeah. I mean, she just wants to fuck everything, so I can imagine that's.
Well, I'll
not
leave you to it then. And Adam's just going to back out the room.
No, that's not what I. Oh, never mind. Emily, are you feeling all right?
I want to see Zadriel.
I think that should wait till maybe tomorrow, eh?
I want to see Zadriel.
Yeah, and I want a penis, but we don't always get what we want. Let's just leave it be for a night.
Emily is going to attempt to stand.
Carlos, do you stop her or aid her? I need you to roll a strength saving throw with disadvantage for me, please. And you'll still be at -2 as well.
Hey,
Yeah, you ain't getting up. I'm sorry. You
That's
try
because I wasn't.
Yeah,
I'll get to
she.
it.
You watch as she attempts to get up, and you sort of step forward to sort of like, what do? Do I help her? Do I tell her to lay back down? And you go to sit up, and then your head just pounds, and you sort of flop back in the bed. Like, yeah, there's no way you're getting up tonight. You're definitely going to need to rest for the rest of this day. Even though you're feeling a lot better and your health has come up, yeah, that shot to the head has rattled a lot of things in there.
Do you want me to guard your door tonight, Emily? You're not capable of going anywhere.
what do I... I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think Zadriel's going to come and see you tonight. I think she's come right.
Are you able to bring her to me?
I will tomorrow.
I won't hurt her.
I don't think you will hurt her. I'm thinking we don't know what kind of control is still on her. I'm more worried about her hurting you.
She won't hurt me.
I don't know if you remember, like about an hour ago, you were like squishy mud puddle on ground under hammer. It was one of those things, you know, where you're like, oh yeah, I'm really tough, and then you were not so tough.
Emily is just gonna shut up.
Oh shit.
That hit a nerve, like seriously hit a nerve. Like, more than you would expect it to. It really hit her right where it hurts.
Yeah, she definitely has a look of like, fuck you, but she doesn't say anything.
Carlos says, I'll wait by the door. All right. And he just sort of mutters to himself right before he stops talking. He says, you know what? That Zadriel, I actually think it's a girl.
And he exits the room.
Yeah, I'm going to wait outside the door.
Okay,
but yeah,
cool.
exit the room, close the door, and I just stand outside the door.
All right, so we will switch briefly over. Emily, yeah?
And Emily is gonna be sort of really angry, and just as he leaves the room, just go, "Wait, what? Did you just say?"
He closes the door and leaves you in the room on your own to rest. We will switch over to the stable as Zadriel, Scathus, and Fibble. Zadriel, you've cleaned yourself up as best you can, and you've done a pretty good job. Is there anything else you guys want to do before heading back to the room? And probably we will end it for the evening.
She's already dead, so it's not like she can get it much worse. So.
She's dead.
Zadriel? Really? She's a thing that's becoming a vampire. She's already dead. Well, undead. Dead. Why do you think your hits hurt her so much? Actually, Strahd must be really pissed at...
I know why he told me.
You're really quiet again, Zadriel.
Spill. Tell us why.
Zadriel looks down and contemplates while Yanti works out her mic.
That's better. I just don't think you were talking into it properly.
He is angry at her. Probably not something we should speak of while she is ill. Perhaps you should speak of it when she comes to.
Okay. So you want to go up and see if she's too, so you can tell us why Strahd's so pissed at her?
I would like to make sure she's okay.
Well, she's not dead, but she's dead. Ish. Hammer really fucking worked, okay? I may have over-designed that. Maybe I should put a friend or foe type thing into it.
People.
What?
Focus.
Hey, you're the one that smacked us with the bloody thing, not me. But you're all right, right?
I feel all right again.
So no oogie boogie woogie woogie. Suddenly turn around and start smashing our heads in late at night.
I don't know what was that again. It's very foggy. What?
You know exactly what it was, and I'm not saying it again. But yeah, you're good.
Zadriel, you do at this moment feel that pressure start to push on your mind again. Not the same, but a voice then comes to you and just simply says, "This is my land." Nothing more.
Okay.
And that's it. There's nothing more.
I am going to walk up the steps to Emilia's room. And I'm not going to...
Skathis and Fibble, do you allow her to? Do you follow her? What do you do?
Well, yeah, if I put the bucket back at the well and followed her
bring
upstairs.
bring a like a half a bucket of water up, because we've got to still clean her armor and shit.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, do that too.
So you follow her? You don't try and stop her at all? You just follow her?
Up the stairs
just
to the
follow her
room.
around.
Is Carnos still at the front?
Carnos is standing out the front of Emilia's room. Carnos, you see them coming up. Zadriel, no armor, cleaned off, and she's walking toward you.
Does she still have her war paint on?
I'd say she's probably washed that off as well. Maybe. Up to Zadriel.
I'm assuming with water, it probably would have washed off.
Probably.
You know how the old axes are sort of like double bladed? I'm sort of leaning on the front like I'm guarding the door, and I just sort of tap the axe on the ground and go, I don't think she's going to see anyone tonight. She's very resting, unwell.
She's going to see me. You can stand with me. You can have a knife to my throat if you want. I have something to say.
You probably do. But that can wait till the morning.
Emilia, can you hear me? At the door.
And you'd hear her. You'd hear the muffled voices, and you'd hear Zadriel call out.
I'm here. Come see me now.
Carnos, what do
There
you
are
do?
2 actors and an asshole in my way right now.
You presume to make these comments after we've just saved her from you. I will open the door. And I look at Fibblestib. I assume Fibblestib's behind her.
Yeah, and Skathis.
Yeah.
I click the door open with one hand and I go, Zadriel. And as I push the door, I look at Fibblestib and I go, I see what you mean. I do get it. Is a girl now.
I miss you too, Carlos. And I walk in.
Yeah, she's not wearing the armor at the moment, so kind of it's a little bit more apparent.
The armor wasn't the thing that hit her, Emilia in the head. So
So do you leave the door open?
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So the door's open. Who's standing at the door listening?
I'll go.
All of us would be
going
doing
up.
that.
And
Looking
where
around
did
the
Adok
corner.
go? Actually, where did Adok go after he left the room? Did you just wait outside as well?
No, Adol could have went down and got a bucket of water and started to clean Zadriel's weapons and armor.
Okay, so you're in the room doing that. Cool.
Yeah.
So
How many
Karnos,
buckets are-
Skathis,
How many buckets are at the well?
Apparently,
a couple, 2 or 3,
All of them.
heaps of
What-
buckets.
what-
You would have had
if-
your own bucket at the room to go get water from the well.
Alright. So I'm going into
So-
the room with them.
Okay, so Skathis, you walk in as well. Karnos, you're at the door. Adox, Fibbles at the door. So, Zadriel and Emilia.
I am sorry, Amelia. What happened to you? I had no control. And I don't have a weapon on me to do this. And I don't think they're going to let me borrow one, but I kneel on one knee. You are my... What?
Stop.
Stop.
Come here.
She's
Here?
yeah, she's kneeling beside the bed.
Yeah, I'm kneeling beside you. So.
Yeah. Say, come here. Like,
Closer.
close.
Yep.
Okay.
And she's going to reach out and grab your shoulder, and with every bit of strength she has, pull you into a hug. And she's going to say, I'm so glad you're okay.
Zadriel is crying. I love you, Emilia. You are my sister in war. We're going to slaughter this son of a bitch together. And I cry.
And what does Emilia do?
Emilia will say agreed, and she'll put her head on her shoulder so that those who are in the doorway can see the fact that her teeth and whatever are not facing Zadriel. Like,
Zadriel's blood doesn't have
I know
any
that,
scent for
but
you
they don't
anyway.
know that.
Yeah. But yeah, Emilia, you can see they're embraced in obviously a friendly embrace. I'd say they're both probably weeping at this point. Zadriel very heavily.
I look to Skathis and I go, and Fibble, whoever's at the door.
So
obviously,
Skathis and Fibble, yep.
Yeah, turn to both of them and go, so when Strahd takes me over and I kill half of you, I expect a big hug at the end of it like this, alright?
Nah, you'll be fucking dead.
Yeah, I'll kill you. Nothing to worry about.
Either way, just, give me a hug at the end. It's quite, heart,
No, dead,
heart-wrenching.
no, dead people. No, not squishy dead people. Don't hug.
No.
No.
Actually, wait a minute. No, we need to keep him alive.
You want a hug, Carlos? Come here, come on.
I will decline, thank you.
Is he in armed distance?
No, he's about 15 feet across the room at the door.
Karnos, how about a good manly handshake?
I would like a chat with you, Zadriel, maybe tomorrow, about your deity.
All right.
And that is where we'll call tonight's session, guys. I think it's a good place. Well,
Grim and chat. Corpse hugging is weird.
well, that is true. Corpse hugging is weird. I mean, doing other things with corpses is even weirder. But corpse hugging is weird. So, chat. Well done, guys. Thank you, chat, for hanging out with us. Appreciate everyone stopping by. Lucks and inspirations in the chat. Sorry, guys, I couldn't see the chat. I'll get that fixed for next week. I've got my dashboard up now so I can see you guys in the chat there. Grim, Mina, cheers for hanging out as usual. JJ, I'm assuming Magic's there somewhere as well. But yeah, Zadriel has returned. Emilia has been beaten to a pulp, almost completely, literally beaten to death. Very close indeed. Just to give you guys the heads up, she did roll a natural 20, which is why she did regain consciousness that first time. She had failed her first death save, and obviously an auto fail on the strike from the second strike from the Warhammer. If Zadriel had another attack, it would have been an Emilia as well. Obviously, for
Done it.
there was if she had another attack, she would have definitely.
She squashed it.
So, obviously, a very poignant message being sent there. So, we'll go around our panel here before we finish up. So we start with Skathis. A moment from you, please. Try and limit it to one, guys, if we can.
Oh, damn, I've got two then.
Pick one.
Yeah. Baz and Zadriel, man or female?
Yeah, that's become a thing. It's pretty funny.
And just the other thing is, what Mina posted with the P.
The P thing.
Yeah.
Adok.
Just the first thing that Fibble says when he gets Zadriel back, that hammer worked really well.
I think that was the best moment of the night. Off on a
like,
tangent.
really?
Hey, you're back. That hammer. Wow.
Typical Fibble, though.
Yeah, 100%. Fibbles did.
I think it was actually something that Baz said, and then straight after it, Drax goes, "Fuck gods." So, yeah, that works.
Yep. Zadriel.
Well, that was pretty much all mine except when Emilia said she won't hurt me, and Carlos is like, I don't know if you know, about a minute ago, you're a squishy mud puddle on the ground. Yeah, that
was great.
I like that.
Emilia.
Actually, I got a few, but the ones that haven't been mentioned and the ones I'm sure will be, I'll just say. Bill was saying, not dead, but she did. That cracked me up. It's not dead, but she did.
Yeah. Hopefully the clips worked. I mean, it looks like they did. They didn't post in the chat properly.
Oh,
I saw them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's more my chat that's not working at the moment. But it seems like they've worked.
I'll put them in the Discord for you. So.
Sweet. Awesome. I'm just going to have to double check my links and stuff through OBS and that with the link change from Twitch, but that's cool. And Carnos.
Yeah, man, look, I'm going to take a bit, we always sort of look at funny numbers. Usually 9 times out of 10 we look at the funny things, but
yep.
I like gritty games that are dark, and having Zadriel smash Emilia to within, she was dead for pretty much one more hit and she was out. I enjoyed that. And it's no offense to your characters. It's just, that's what I like. I like living on the seat of your pants. So that was cool.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, horror's my thing. The darker, the better. So how much darker can you get?
Water whip works so well.
That was one of my other ones.
That worked really well, dude. For me, again, use of water whip, Fibble in his remarks, talking to Zadriel and then just always going back to how well that hammer worked. It was just like focusing here, and all of a sudden it's over here, and then over here, and it's just random stuff, just random across the board. But no, I think everyone handled the battle very, very well. Obviously the zombies are always a little bit more squishier than most creatures. Had I rolled differently, you would have had another 6 join the battle. Luckily for you, I'd rolled a particular way, so you managed to avoid that one. So the chances of Emilia actually dying there were very, very high. Emilia was definitely the number one target, and there was a reason for that. And I think Drax knows the reason. I think he's kind of figured that out. But yeah, so definitely the whole plan there was to let you guys know, the power of your opponent, what he can do when he sets his mind to it, and to send a message, which I think the message was received. So until next week, the band is back together, but will trust remain or not remain is the question. I know there's going to be some elements of mistrust. There always is when situations like this come to light. But yeah, so you will see us again on Sunday for some Vampire the Masquerade. I will be streaming tomorrow night for maybe a couple of hours, doing some Foundry stuff and some D&D chat. We can talk more about this episode if you want to come and hang out. Any of the players want to come hang out in the Discord, we can have a chat about about what happened tonight, what's happened up until now in the campaign, if you're available, and we can do some. I'm going to be doing some more Foundry stuff, doing some walls and lighting for more maps on Curse of Strahd. So I'm not worried about the players seeing a lot of those maps because they're not going to know what's happening in particular areas, and by the time you actually get to the areas I'm up to, you're not going to remember a hell of a lot anyway, and I'm changing things as I go. So feel free to come and hang out while I do that. Friday night, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Saturday I won't be here. Got D&D at Baz's place on Saturday night, so I'll be down there for that, and then back here Sunday for VTM. So look forward to see you guys in the chat. We should raid. I'm just going to go over here. So, whoop, Dreamception. Let's see who is on the D&D channels tonight. So we've got, I've been streaming 25 minutes. What's this? Amnesia Episode 5, RPG and Beta. I don't know what that is. Never seen them before. Level Up TTV. Oh, we got Dragon Fields. They've been going for a little while. I think last time we raided someone, they were like Polish or something, so we've got to be careful of that. Okay, we're going to raid Lost Archives again. Those guys are doing some actual D&D tonight. We're going to go to visit the Lost Archives. Make sure you guys, if you're not following them, chuck them a follow. And we will see you guys. And I find these guys in my raid list. There they are. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for some Foundry and D&D chat. And possibly again on Friday doing some map stuff. Or just chatting again, we'll see. But come and hang out nonetheless. And we'll see you guys then, if not on Sunday. You gotta press my button. Press my button. Laters, guys. Bye-bye. See you later. Ciao.